I'm about to drain this water heater. You find that there's all kinds of opinions how to do it. Some master plumbers even say you don't need to do it after a certain number of years. In fact, they say that if it's more than a couple of years, you better not to do it. I'm a little bit suspicious about that. And there are actually some proven reasons why you should do this for your health. If you have water in that tank that's contaminated, then you have a health risk.
Let's see what Copilot says about health risks. Get bacterial growth. Sediment layers create warm, stagnant zones where bacteria can thrive. This can lead to foul-smelling water. Contaminated water, sediment may contain rust, sand, and other debris. Potential toxins. In rare cases, sediment can leach harmful metals or compounds into the water. For other risks, it can reduce the efficiency. This can raise your energy bills. Another one is reduced capacity, so the sediment takes up space. I can't see it taking a whole lot of space, but it does. Premature failure, trapped heat accelerates corrosion and can shorten the tank life by 2 to 5 years, so you want to flush that tank, right? Noise and overheating, popping or rumbling sounds that I'm sure you might have heard on older heaters are signs of steam bubbles trapped under the sediment. So the best practices are annual flushing. Most manufacturers recommend draining once a year, every 6 months in hard water areas. Or you can fit a water softener or filter, helps reduce mineral and sediment accumulation. Anode rod inspection. So replace that every 1 to 3 years, unless you go with an electric anode, which can last a lot longer. So temperature settings, keep it at around 120 degrees Fahrenheit to reduce mineral precipitation and bacterial growth. I did not know that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the steps that I'm going to take. I did change the valve from the standard plastic valve that came with this, and I put a brass valve. And if you want to take a look at that video, you can click somewhere up there and you'll be able to watch that one. Now, the first step I made was to turn off the burner. You don't need to turn off the gas so that you have to relight the pilot. That's just a complete waste of time. Here is the control, and it was on the on position. I'm not going to turn it back on. You turn this from the on to the pilot position, and that way the pilot light stays lit and you don't have to mess around when you turn this back on. Let's take a look over here, a different kind of control. In this case, if I were to turn this one off, I would turn this to the pilot position right there, and that way it's not going to fire up. The next thing that's advisable to do is to go take a shower. Use up some water. That way the water in the tank is not going to be too hot that if you get splashed with it, you're going to get burned. So I did that already, and it's been several hours. The next step I'm going to do is to turn off the water on this water heater. Here is the valve to turn off the water. So you go to turn it 90 degrees to the pipe. Then I'm also going to go over to a sink. This is cold, so I'm going to turn it to the hot position. That just lets the tank breathe so that when we drain water out, there's not going to be a vacuum. On the water heater, this is where the drain valve is. This is the new one that I put on here, and you'll see that this one, you don't need a screwdriver like some of the other ones. Here's another one that came standard. With this one, you would need a screwdriver. For this next step, I'm going to attach a hose to this outlet here, this drain valve, and I'll show you in a minute where we're going to drain that. All right, so we get that one tightened up. Here is a big container I'm going to use to catch the water. This is another container I have inside with a t-shirt just to take a look and see what kind of sediment is coming out of the heater. Some people say that you should actually drain the water outside, and that's not a bad idea if your water heater is above ground level. But if your water heater is below ground level, it's not going to work after it gets down to a certain level. That is unless you're going to leave the water turned on. Or if you have, like I saw another person, if you want to pump the water out from the water heater.
Here's where I turn the drain valve on.
I can already see some bits in here. I don't know if this really shows anything. I'm just going to run this until this is full.
So you can see that this came out a little bit cloudy, so I just let it fill up and then I turned it off and threw it out.
I'm going to turn this back to this position and then empty out the water over there. I'm going to throw this out and we'll keep going. Right. And turn this one on again. Take a look over here. Getting a little bit full over there. I'm going to stop this again. Here's the second batch. Now, when I look at this water, It's just got some particles in it. So I'm just wondering if that is from the anode rod. It could be. About the second batch. So at this point in time, what I'm going to try is I'm going to open this up again and just catch the water in here without splashing everywhere. Okay, actually the flow is quite good. You can see that. That's pretty strong. In fact, I need to stop this so I can put this on top of something. I got something underneath this now, and I'm going to just fill this up direct from the drain valve. I don't want to fill this too high, otherwise I'm going to have to spill water to get this out from underneath it. It looks like this is fairly clear. Perhaps when we get close to the bottom, then we might see some more sediment. So I actually got this stuck in a position like this where it's almost have to spill water to get this thing out. Here we go again. It'd be hard to take it out without spilling. Yeah, it's just a bit too much. I'm trying a different angle this time. Yeah. And another one. I found something else. See if this doesn't splash too much. This should work. Pretty full. Here we go again. Now the pressure seems to be dropping a little bit now, so looks like we're getting closer to emptying the tank. Now it's kind of hard to see, but this is somewhat, has some haziness to it. It doesn't have any rust or anything like that in it, which is a good sign. If it did, then we would be really concerned about this water heater. And again. And again. And here we go again. Here you can definitely see some murkiness in the water. Throw this out. And let's see what we've got this time. So how many more times are we going to do this? My guess is about 2. Definitely slowed down this time. So this is probably going to be the last. That looks like that's it. I do see some little bits and pieces in there, and probably means that anode rod is doing its job and the tank is still good.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below with your own water heater tips or questions, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'll be installing powered anode rods on these same water heaters and doing a side-by-side comparison of the most popular rods on the market. You'll definitely want to see that. Until then, keep your DIY projects safe, smart, and fun. See you next time.